The AMG GT enters its second generation, but it is taking a different direction compared to the previous version. It's now bigger, heavier, but also more usable in different situations. So does that mean that Mercedes has neutered the AMG GT, or is this still a wild animal? Let's go for a drive and find out. This thing is quick with a capital Q. Oof, too much for street use. Underneath the hood is a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 that is all motor. It is not using any sort of mild hybrid system like some other AMG models. It produces 577 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. Although there are more powerful 63 versions of AMG Mercedes-Benz vehicles out there, this GT can accelerate from a stop to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.2 seconds. At least that's what Mercedes-Benz claims. In the infotainment system, there is a telemetry page with a drag race mode, and I was able to get 3.13 seconds 0 to 100 kilometer an hour time. So this car is quicker than what Mercedes-Benz claims, despite the fact that it is also quite a lot heavier than the previous generation. It's almost 2 tons in weight now. Some of that weight has to do with safety, a more rigid body, along with convenience. More and more customers demand a quieter cabin, which means more sound insulating materials. But most of the weight increase has to do with the addition of the 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system. This system allows the engine's power to be shuffled between the front or back wheels, and being a more advanced Plus version, it can decouple the front wheels and allow the AMG GT to drift. Additionally, the GT63 Coupe is equipped with standard rear-wheel steering that allows the back wheels to turn up to 2.5 degrees. There's also a nose lift system that can raise the front axle by 30 millimeters. This system can remember points at which it is activated and then automatically raise the nose when the car is at that same GPS position again. Getting back to the engine, because it doesn't have any sort of mild hybrid helping it out, it does have a little bit of turbo lag and quite a big boost threshold. So it doesn't produce peak torque until it reaches 2500 RPMs. So if you put your foot down around those RPMs, then you don't really feel much for the first half a second, but then once the turbochargers spool up, you get pushed into the back of the seat really hard. So in a way, it kind of feels like an old school turbocharged engine. On top of that, it makes some glorious noises. As for the fuel economy, let's face it, you probably don't care when you have over 570 horsepower under your right foot. In a city, it's almost at 20 liters per 100 kilometers, but on highways, you can say that it's not too bad at 12.6 liters per 100 kilometers. I averaged 17.8 liters per 100 kilometers during my time with the car. Helping it get that decently good highway fuel economy is the 9-speed automatic transmission. It's a multi-clutch transmission, so on city streets from time to time, it can feel just a little bit jerky, particularly on downshifts. But on upshifts, you really don't feel those gear changes. You will, however, feel those gear changes as soon as you switch the car into the Sport Plus or Race Drive modes. Each shift feels like as though somebody is kicking the back of your seat. but at least the gear changes are quick and the paddle shifters on the steering wheel are responsive if you decide to use them. As standard, the AMG GT63 Coupe has 6-piston fixed calipers and 390mm discs on the front that provide the bulk of the stopping force. This demo vehicle that I drove had the optional carbon ceramic brake discs, which are 10mm larger and have a 2-piece design. Carbon ceramic discs are lighter than steel discs and virtually fade resistant. In everyday driving, it's almost impossible to overheat these discs, unless you drive like an idiot, so they provided smooth and powerful stopping force every time I put my right foot on the brake pedal. As for the driving dynamics of this GT63 Coupe, it is responsive and grippy. Despite the heavier weight, the front end immediately responds to the smallest turn of the steering wheel. Coupled with the 295 wide front tires and 305 wide rear tires, the car has more lateral grip than you can ever use on public roads. At no point did the car feel like as though it wanted to snap oversteer or understeer when entering a corner on a windy road. To fully appreciate the performance of this car, you'd have to go to a racetrack. Being a high-performance sports car, the ride of the AMG GT63 Coupe is firm on city streets. However, the adaptive suspension in comfort mode provides just enough isolation from the road. What is very evident are sharp and quick bumps. The low-profile tires make small bumps feel bigger than they actually are. As for noises, as I mentioned earlier, the AMG GT63 Coupe has some great engine noises that can be heard in the cabin. But when you don't have your right foot all the way to the floor, the cabin of this sports car is flooded with tire noise. The volume of this unwanted noise really depends on the type of asphalt that the car is driven on. If it's fresh, there's very little tire noise. If it's old and porous, the cabin is very loud. The interior of the AMG GT has grown a little bit compared to the previous generation. So for somebody as tall as me at 6'4", I have plenty of space in these two front seats. Plenty of legroom and plenty of headroom, although I did lower the seat to its lowest position. Even so, I have excellent visibility all around the car. Out front, to the side, blind zones are not that big, and even the view out the back is really good. You can get this car with rear seats, however, I have no idea who would even be able to fit back there because those back seats are extremely tight. Thankfully, you can get those rear seats removed as this demo car has, and it just leaves you with a nice, spacious parcel shelf. Back here in the front, the design of the new AMG GT is almost identical to most other Mercedes-Benz vehicles. So in the sense that it has this 11.9-inch touchscreen right in the center and it's not cantered towards the driver. And it has the same steering wheel as all other AMG models do. Plus, it completely removed all physical buttons. The previous generation had a nice row of buttons down the center console. In this one, everything is integrated into this touchscreen. If you watched any of my previous videos, then you know that I absolutely hate climate controls and commonly used functions that are now integrated into the touchscreen. I much prefer to have individual physical controls. So sadly, this AMG GT just no longer feels that unique on the inside because, like I said, it looks very much like almost every other Mercedes-Benz vehicle that's on sale right now. The materials, however, are really good. There's leather covering almost the entirety of this cabin. There's microfiber suede on the headliner, and you can option it with carbon fiber trim as this demo vehicle has. Unfortunately, there is some gloss black plastic right on top of the center console where the lid is for the cup holders and wireless phone charging pad, but beyond that, everything else in here is top notch. One thing that I don't like about this interior has to do with the performance seats. They do a great job of holding you in when you're cornering very quickly, but on a day-to-day basis, there's just not enough padding in them. They feel very firm, and my butt does get numb after just a half-hour drive. Also, another thing, there is a rattle in this cabin while driving, and it's mostly coming from the back. I can't really tell if it's the cover for the trunk or if it's the divider between the trunk and the cabin that's making that noise. It's not too bad, but it is something that you notice. Additionally, if you push quite hard enough on, say, the infotainment touchscreen, it does make some noise, and same thing with some other panels in this car. But that's nothing that's really unique to this car. That's something that I have noticed in other Mercedes-Benz vehicles, so it's just par for the course. And that's about it for the interior of the AMG GT. Spacious, but very common looking, I guess you can say. It just lost that uniqueness that the previous generation had. The Mercedes-AMG GT is an expensive car. Here in Canada, it's only available in two trims, the GT55 and the GT63. The GT55 starts at $157,900 Canadian, while this GT63 starts at $198,300 Canadian. In the United States, there are 5 trims to choose from, including the GT43, the GT63 Pro, and the GT63 SE Performance. I'm not sure if in Canada we'll be getting these models. As for gadgets, the GT63 comes equipped like almost every other AMG model. It has a Nappa leather upholstery, a microfiber headliner, heated and ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel, dual-zone automatic climate controls, a wireless phone charging pad, a head-up display, surround view cameras, Burmeister surround sound system, panoramic sunroof, but it's fixed and it cannot open, 64-color ambient lighting, and a power-operated trunk, among a few other convenience features. But being an AMG model, it also comes equipped with a few features that help the driver when the car is on a racetrack or customizing different settings. The AMG drive unit consists of 2 knobs on the steering wheel. The right one cycles through different drive modes. The left one can adjust various parameters of the car. These parameters can be added or removed to this drive unit via the infotainment system. The car also comes with the AMG Track Pace app. This allows the driver to keep track of lap times, quarter-mile times, braking distances, and various telemetry data. Overall, I would say that Mercedes-Benz has neutered this AMG GT just a little bit compared to the previous generation, because it is far better to drive on a day-to-day basis. But don't get me wrong, this will still get your heart pumping with its ferocious acceleration and cat-like grip. Perhaps on a racetrack, the heavier weight won't make it as fast as a Porsche 911, but let's face it, cars like these spend most of their time on city streets rather than racetracks. Between the two, I think I would easily pick this one because it just has so much more drama than the Porsche 911. But that's just my opinion. What about you? Which one would you pick? And if you would like to know more about this AMG GT63, I have a more detailed written review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner right up here. And as always, I will see you in the next car, truck, or most likely it'll be an SUV next time. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.